Dao Yin 1.2, welcome back, Dao Yin practitioners. The first part of this video is preparation for the Dao Yin. Settling into Wu Ji, this time my feet slightly more open, so not as parallel. This is a more sort of open posture, so you'll see the toes are allowed to go out in this one. I don't know why that is. I've seen some teachers do this in like a 45 degree. I'll be honest with you. Then we're going to settle into a more standard Wu Ji posture, but we're going to step out one breath further, so 1 foot breadth width further. Breathing in, preparation, pushing out with the right hand, turning with the left, rising the left hand up, and that left hand will go higher shortly. And I'm just gauging as I turn and seeing how far my spine will allow me, judging where my right hand is, where my left hand goes to. Right hand, dropping the hand, swapping over, turning with the center, shifting my weight into my left leg. Again, this is from a style of Dao Yin that is incorporated into a martial art called Bagua Zhang. So here, and always the emphasis is pushing through the heels of my hand. So all the way through this, I'm stretching all the tendons all the time. Looking to the right hand, judging the left, and turning and judging that tendon flexibility without forcing it. Tracking the hands. Front view. You'll see how the knees have a tendency to collapse in this position because you're going beyond your normal. Just watch for that. This is a swinging motion, so this is a different way of doing the same movement. So I invite you to do both styles. So just dropping the hands, swinging them around, checking their distance and turning. So adding in an extra squeeze. Watch the outside of the knees. They can collapse a little bit in this movement. You don't want that. I don't mind a bit of collapsing, but we don't want total knees touching. You'll see my right knee is actually not as strong as my left. For some reason, at this point, it will change. Here I'm just gauging to show you how the knees can collapse. And this is doing it without collapsing, or minimum collapse. So I'm putting outwards pressure here, and you'll see the knee on the right side. It does go in, but it doesn't collapse as much. So that's the difference you've got to watch for. Here I'm turning the upper spine. A little bit different to center-led Qigong. Dao Yin is more guiding. So we're going to begin with the first Dao Yin. Pushing forward, not going so low. Swaying back, not bringing my hands behind my head yet. It puts too much pressure on the lower back. Breathing in, pushing forward. So the emphasis is more pushing the hands forward than going low. Get into a skiing stance, a downhill stance. Breathing in, looking up to the ceiling, but I'm not dropping my hands behind my head yet. It's too dangerous at this point. Looking down. No problem in Dao Yin to stick your bum out. It's not like Qigong or Tai Chi. It's more an opening of the tendons and the structures. So here, checking my knees again. Knees being most important. Looking behind and breath outwards. Breathing in and breathing out. Very important to push those hands. Really imagine you're pushing away a large structure. Back down, checking in, wide Wu Ji, and then back to your turning, And we can go much further. And notice how there's, less collapse and more of a twisting sensation with the knee. So there's less collapse and more of a twisting sensation. Then we can just do a straight turn without dropping the palms, just to judge how our upper spine responds. Again, there's more of a twisting through the legs than a collapse. Then we can swing the hands gently using the center. See how that feels. The hands, lovely. They want to come up. Notice I'm always keeping the pressure outwards with those palms, pulling back on the tendons. This is guiding the qi and reinforcing heat in the body, purging sick qi from the body. Breathing in, pushing down through the hands, reinforcing that. Breathing in, pushing down. Really pull those fingers back. Breathing in, pushing down. Rising up through the shoulders, pushing down to the earth. Push out all the sick energy. Here we go. Pushing out. A bit like a spinal wave, but more using upper shoulders to really open out all the tendons. Often we don't like shoulder-led movements in Qigong, Neigong, but this is Dao Yin, slightly different. So a nice kind of lifting wave movement, but always pushing with the hands towards, lifting the fingers towards my face, the backs of the fingers. Breath comes in, full up the dantian, breathing out. This then prepares you for, guess what? Yes, off we go again. Now we're starting to get an opening through the channels. Definitely I have more movement on one side than the other. This is with the swing now, just to get an idea. And then this is with the turn. So to try both. Keeping the hands at a similar level, turning. Then we go back to Dao Yin, guiding the qi forward, going a bit lower, hands a bit lower. Looking down to the ground, breathing it, pushing back. Hands are still not coming all the way back yet, but I am going lower in the stance. Breathing in, behind, breathing out, pushing the hands now. Breathing in, coming down. Feet together. Breath into the dantian, lifting the breath up from the lower dantian to the chest, and then breathing out, turning. This is not, it's a bit like separating heaven and earth, but not really. This is more of a twist. And you want to push the top hand, not vertical to the ceiling, but away from you, like you're going sort of 45 degrees. The reason for that is it opens out the channels that run the heart and the liver. It opens those out better, the heart and the pericardium channel, it opens them better than if you go vertically, which tends to open more, you feel it more in the yang channels. Breathing in, pushing away like a 45 with the hand, and we stretch a little bit, stretching away from my body. Breathing in. So there's kind of a twisting and a pressing, as if I'm pressing down on a coffee table. So I'll show you from another angle so you can see the 45 as I press. So the hand comes up and I actually push that way away. Can you see that? So it's not directly vertical. Breathing in. And again, pressing away. It's a different movement. What I tend to find is if you go vertically to the ceiling, it just becomes a turn. So you're just turning on the center pole instead of really opening tissues up. Holding there, Wuji, just feet together. Knees bent, stepping out. Wider stance than normal again, guys. And back to seeing where we're at. Are we more open? Way more open. And even more open on that side, which is the side I do struggle with. And then just sweeping and sitting and sweeping and seeing how does that gauge that movement without forcing it. Getting there. Preparation again, looking. And then turning, just sweeping and turning. Simple as that. Back to here, and you can see a little bit lower again, but not forcing it. This time I breathe in through the belly and drop. Pressurize the belly, drop. Breathe in through the belly, drop. Breathe in through the belly, breathing out and drop. Breathe in through the belly, breathing in and drop. Breathe in through the belly like a bellows, pushing the body up and drop. As I breathe out, breathe in and drop. Breathe in and drop. My aim is not to touch the floor. Actually, that's not my aim. My aim is to use the breath and drop. Both palms this time equal, so it's not one on top of the other in this position. Usually it is. Thumbs are pointing to the ceiling. I will face to show you. Thumbs, just wiggle them for you there. Thumbs are pointing up to the ceiling. To complete. Dao Yin 1.2. Thank you for watching. Enjoy it. You can revisit Dao Yin 1.1 after.